Hey y'all, this is Ledisi, and you know I got soul.
Alright, Ledisi, so we're here at your listening event for the new album, The Truth. You know, you introduced us to it, and you talked about how you kind of came into your own, and you're in such a good place for this one. What kind of led you to that point in your life and in your career musically?
Well, what led me to the point where I'm excited about this new album and who I am today is just defining my own lane for me and not trying to fit into a box that people put me in, and just sing and enjoy the music that I have, you know, and what I'm presenting.
In your bio it says this is your favorite album you've recorded.
Yes.
You have some amazing albums, so you know that really stuck out to me. Is it your favorite because of the place you're in and what you've been able to do for this project? Is that?
Yeah, The Truth is my favorite album. I can't say that. It is one of my favorite, well, it is the favorite album because I am in a different place. I'm happier, I'm brighter, and I love this process. I learned a lot. That's why. I learned that once you face who you are completely, it feels better and it feels lighter.
Right.
So I think I poured that out into the songs that are on this album, and that's why it's my favorite.
Right. And what are the challenges that come along with pouring your all into the music?
The challenges that come with pouring the truth into your music, or you're more vulnerable. You're out there and people are there to pick on who you are. And you have no choice but to say, well, this is who I am. You know, I've always been like that, but this time it's even more. And it's a vulnerable place to be. I mean, you were in the room.
Yeah.
It was intense to go, oh man, I gotta really talk about this. Right. And you're like, yeah, we want to know the truth. And so here it is.
And if you've got the great lead single, I Blame You,
yes,
created by yourself, Claude Kelly, Chuck Harmony. Was it a similar process creating that to Pieces of Me, which they also worked on?
Yeah, it was definitely, I Blame You was definitely the same process as recording Pieces of Me, because Claude Kelly always inquires, so how are you? How are you? How you feeling? You know, and we get to talking, and then a song comes about that fits with who I am, and that's how he likes to write. And I enjoy his writing process. The first time we did it, I had never written that deeply with somebody, so this was it was good. It's always good writing with Chuck and Claude Kelly. They're fun.
You've got some other, you know, pretty well-known producers on here as well. Rex Rider, who you always work with.
Yeah.
You've got Jerry Wonder, DJ Camper.
Wanda.
So what is your process like in the studio when you come into working with these producers, and do you give them ideas or they give you ideas? What's the give and take there?
Wow, working with the different producers, the process is always different. I mean, every producer has their own way of recording vocals, their own way of presenting music or not presenting music. Rex likes to start from the scratch. Sometimes you don't have time to start from the scratch, and he'll have something lying around and say, what do you think of this? When I walked into Jerry Wonder's studio, he had the whole track down, the bass line and everything in the song, and blew me out the water. And I just made a few changes. Same with Chuck and Claude Kelly. They would change up every now and then, but it depends.
Right.
It was difficult though, I will say, working with different producers, because everybody had their little thing about how to record vocals, and I have my own way of how to record vocals. But I love learning different ways too. It makes you more of a rounded artist.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I know you mentioned this album is not only for the grown folks, it's for younger music fans as well. And I could definitely hear that in some of the music you played tonight. But did you create the music with that in mind, or did it come out, you know, like that?
Every album I'm always focused on that after Pieces of Me is how to mix. Actually, after Turn Me Loose, that was when it started. Turn Me Loose taught me that your audience isn't just what you think it is. Be broader. Right. And yeah, Turn Me Loose taught me that. So every album after that, I started thinking young and old, mix it up, because I can see that in Turn Me Loose, the audience was very mixed and diverse. Right. And after that, I said, wow. And so, yes, strategically, I'm always thinking about that, especially with The Truth and Pieces of Me and Turn Me Loose, yeah.
Something you touched on tonight was the Black Girls Rock performance, and you got a little emotional speaking about it. Can you just talk about what that moment meant to your career?
Well, Black Girls Rock identified Ledisi being rebellious and not conforming to boxes, to places that people put me in. It was a scary moment because you're shaking things up without explanation. They don't understand. They haven't heard the truth. They haven't. All they saw was a picture or a video of you in this cat suit, and they're going, "What is going on with her? And she dancing? What's happening?" So that was new, and without even knowing the story. And I think I'm happy I Blame You video came out. It's like I had to hold my breath till you saw the whole story. And because basically the video explains my evolving, me wanting to evolve. It's funny, I asked a lady once, I said, so when, she said, you're changing, it's like, we're used to Ledisi. And I said, what is the Ledisi thing? And she said, well, we hear you. And I said, well, do you see me ever? Well, we remember your hair here and there, but I said, do you know what my eyes look like? Or my face? Or my smile? Or my body type? Will you ever see me? She's like, no, but we can hear you.
Wow.
So for me, that was another defining moment. I said, yes, and this is why I should always keep growing and keep going outside the boxes that people put me in. And I love that they have me in their box, but again, I have to be an artist and always evolve. And
right.
I have to. It's part of my growth.
Definitely. I think one of my favorite things about you as an artist is you're one of the best performers I've had a chance to see live.
Really?
I mean, I've seen hundreds, literally. I went to both of your tour stops here in New York last time around.
Wow, cool, thank you.
Really good. I mean, I tell everyone, you know, she's...
So you started dancing before dancing, see?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. It was really good. It made me a believer. And I always spread the word. I tell people, if Ledisi's in your town, you got to come see her.
Oh, cool. Thank you for that.
For sure. But tell me about, you know, the work you put into your live show to make it what it is.
Wow, you know, I put a lot of work into the live shows. We rehearse. I think we can rehearse longer, but, you know, it costs money to rehearse a big band. And I always want people to get a glimpse of what it's like being me, you know, outside of being an artist. That's why I had video last time, and I wanted them to see that I know how to move. Last show I did more fun things with the drums and megaphone, but this time, you know, we rehearse hours on hours. I study the music, how to make it different, how to fit all the songs, because there's so many ballads. And everybody wanted, you didn't sing my song this time. I mean, everybody wants the same songs. So it's trying to fit them all in one set. You only have like, I'm really supposed to only have like 75 minutes, but I try to do a little bit longer to fit everything in. So it's, the challenge is always how many songs do you put in with the new stuff and the old stuff, and trying to introduce a new album every time. That's why you say, well, it's called, this is the tour of that album. So I can't do Turn Me Loose over and over again or Lost and Found over and over again. So yeah, we put a lot of work and effort into it and try to make a rounded show that fits everybody.
Definitely shows.
Cool.
So, that's all we have for you. Anything you want to
add? Cool. You know, I just thank you every time. You're always here to support me, and you're evolving with me. I love it, and you understand. You know I got soul.